I'm Doug Massi, and today I've got a very special guest with me. A little information. I met this gentleman years ago, and after just working with him for a few months, I said, hey, man, we need to work together. How about being partners? And so, with that being said, I want to introduce the most amazing advertising person that I've ever met in my life, Brandon Novick.
Hey guys, how's it going?
This is our first video together. Let's talk about something that you do better than anybody I've ever met or known, which is basically, advertising funnels. And maybe we can talk about like what people are doing wrong and, what they can do to actually get more appointments on their calendar, kind of what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, before we do that, guys, please give this video a thumbs up, and we do suggest subscribing if you're a new viewer. We're putting out new insurance sales content and final expense sales training videos just like this all the time. So with that being said, I originally met Brandon, it's got to be going on 5 years ago now that I think about it. And, he was a pretty new agent. He was with another company. And, he was trying to figure it out. He was in that brand new agent stage. And so when we met, he was actually about to give up on telesales. And he was like, well, Doug, I found you, you live near me, so I want to do face-to-face sales. And basically, make a long story short, I convinced him that probably was not the way to go here in Florida. And so the next thing you know, he started doing his thing. He took my advice, got himself an advertising funnel system, and basically took this thing that didn't work right and made it into this highly effective, I don't know how to describe it, super advertising appointments platform. And the amazing part is there's companies, back then there were 2 companies selling these things that specialized in what we do, final expense. And they were selling them for $10,000 or over. And now we're able to do this whole thing and run and manage the entire system at a really tiny setup fee. It's just kind of crazy the way we do it. At the end of the day, the agents are spending a lot less and getting a lot more because, now we've been doing this for years. We've got it down like super tight. So Brandon, what is the biggest difference between what like most agents and agencies are, doing like advertising wise, when they're hitting Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all those compared to what we're actually doing?
Yeah, so really the main difference has to be about verification of information and quality of lead. So right now, what's going on is you've got everybody, like 95, 98% of people out there are using Facebook lead forms, and they're auto-populating all of the clients' old information. So it's kind of like whenever you save a password on your computer and then you have to change it and you go in to log in again and it says that you changed your password like 10 days ago. That's kind of what's going on with clients right now. So it's auto-populating an old phone number that they got rid of like 5, 10 years ago. And then agents are calling the clients because they're getting these leads. They go, hey, I got so many leads and they're so cheap. But they're not picking up the phone. They're picking up the phone and they're saying, I never put in that request. What are you talking about? Or they're saying that it's not even the right person. And so that's a big issue with agents and trying to sell final expense insurance, right? You're picking up the phone and they're not acknowledging what it's for, or they're just not picking up the phone. So what we do is we take them off of Facebook and we require that they verify the validity of their phone number. Huge difference, very big thing if you want real phone numbers for real leads.
So we're not using the regular Facebook form. We've actually set up an entire system that takes us away from Facebook. Can you maybe talk about how that works a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a straight line system, and we ask a lot of the same information, but we ask for extra data points as well. I don't like to ask for anything silly like somebody's favorite color or favorite hobby. You're going to get some really weird answers if you do stuff like that. But I ask questions that are pertinent to selling life insurance, right? Because that's what we want, information, so that we can make placing a policy easier. That way we can verify and validate with the client without saying something silly like, I saw your favorite hobby was watching TV at 2 a.m., right? So we take them through this process and we gather useful pieces of information. We also start explaining the product and selling the product before the agent gets in contact with the client. And it's all about having little pieces of memory points. That way, whenever they do pick up the phone, they start to go, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember filling that out. That's right. So tell me what this is about, right? And that's the main purpose of the funnel. It's just a memory piece, and it works really well. I mean, honestly, we get people that they pick up the phone and they know we're talking about life insurance.
Bingo. Okay, so you touched on that. What's the difference between like the quality of of what you can do using a system like ours compared to these companies that are advertising these these Facebook ad systems where you can get like $3 leads?
The difference is massive. A lot of agents, they'll come in and they'll say, I want the cheapest lead. In the same breath, they'll also say, I'm willing to pay more for a higher quality, higher intent lead. And so whenever you get leads this way, they're not going to be dollar leads, $2 leads. And a lot of those leads that are advertised for the dollars, $2, one, like I said before, the contact info is bad. And two, they're showing you their best day on their best week of their best year. And so you're not really getting real information. You're getting just a little teeny tiny piece of the best information. So the intent goes up and the quality goes up because we're forcing them to put in all of the information. And does that mean that you're going to get the exact same volume of leads? No, it doesn't, because we're interested in people that want to buy life insurance.
Bingo. I know the way we do it, we're using, this funnel. There's a landing page attached to it. So basically, all these agents that are generating their own leads using Facebook forms need to do is basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I think the way I'm going to say it is wrong, but they basically need to just set up a landing page. Is that pretty much it?
Setting up a landing page can help. It's not going to give you the highest volume, but it will increase the quality of your lead if you do it right. And that's the biggest thing, is you have to do it right. I have seen so many funnels out there that are awful. I mean, it's like a neon background and it's just, what's your first name? What's your last name? What's your phone number? Okay, somebody will contact you for your benefit. And when you do something like that, it is not going to pan out. So does setting up a funnel help with quality? Absolutely, if you do it the right way. And it's really nuanced, right? And we've spent millions of dollars on advertising, so that we can get the funnels to the right place, to where they need to be, the right blend of the right amount of information compared to not enough or even too much. Because we've seen before where somebody might be selling a lead for like $30 that has 50 points of information, and the person won't even pick up the phone, right? So it's all about finding the right blend, right? The right amount. What's the right amount? Not too hot, not too cold. Find it somewhere in the middle, kind of like we have.
Bingo. And look, and guys, just to be super transparent, I think Brandon went through, I don't know, a dozen, maybe 15 different landing pages before he finally said, well, this is it. We got it. And we started getting like the crazy results. So the crazy results. So let me touch on this real quick, guys, is, and we, look, we're not the only ones that are doing this. I'm assuming someone else has got to be doing this, but I haven't had one person say, yeah, we're getting those numbers. We're seeing that when the clients fill out the lead form on an agency, when I put all of our agents together, at least 40 to like sometimes over 50% of the people that fill out the lead form will actually take the next step to either hit the call now button. So now you're talking to them 2 seconds later, or they set an appointment on the agent's calendar. So, I mean, that's kind of unique. And that's why, honestly, That's when I saw Brandon was doing that. That was when I was like, hey man, we got to partner. We've got to figure out a way to offer this to other agents so that we can spread the love, so to speak. So, all right. With that being said, once the client sets the appointment, how do you create the automation where they get the automated text message and then they're able to reply, to confirm the appointment?
So there's multiple different ways, multiple different CRMs. I recommend getting a good CRM, one that's dependable and one that's not too gimmicky. There's a lot of gimmicky CRMs out there. They may offer free leads or AI assistance, right? Things like that. Yeah, it's a gimmick. Let's be honest. I stay away from those ones, but finding a good CRM, a reputable CRM, that's definitely the best route to go with that.
Okay. And so, yeah, and you touched on something that I think is interesting. I see these ads on Facebook all the time where these companies are saying, we can use AI to call your leads. Guys, let me be clear about this. We have a law against that. There are rules in place where for artificial intelligence to call your lead, the client has to check a box that says they're okay with getting artificial intelligent phone calls, basically, and it actually has to say the word robocalls. So you tell me, who in their right mind is going to check a box that says, yes, you can robocall me? I mean, that's just opening up the door to saying, yeah, you can harass me, make $1,000 to my house a day. Nobody's doing that. So trust me, guys, the companies that are selling this gimmick, I mean, can it work? Sure. But is it going to be compliant? Are you risking your license? Are you risking getting fined? Are you risking getting busted by an attorney who's got these booby traps set? Absolutely. Is it worth it? You tell me. I know it's not. That's why everything we do is 100% compliant for our agents. The last thing we want to do is endanger you guys. To me, that just doesn't make sense. So the one thing that I've noticed, and I have conversations with a lot of agency owners, I'm getting calls all the time. They're asking us to set this up. No, we're not going to set it up for someone else's agency, right? We're not doing that to create our own competition. That just doesn't make common sense. And I have had people tell me, well, I do have a funnel and it does work and I am getting appointments. And the one big difference is when I ask them what percentage, they're like, they don't know how to answer it. I'm like, well, how many leads are converting into appointments or hitting the call now button? And they're telling me like 1 out of 15, like not even 10%, like hardly any of them, which is crap. Now, let me just say there is a free leads company who does preset appointments, and we've seen their lead form, and they're basically saying something like, do you have a checking account where you can get your benefits? And they answer yes. And then they say, okay, call us now for your benefits. It's like they make them think the clients are calling in because they think they're getting something for free. I mean, that's just nuts, right?
Absolutely insane. So let's be honest. We've looked into things like that. We've spent a lot of money, a lot of time in constantly going through and picking apart other funnels, trying to improve ours. And can you get movement with things like that? Absolutely, yes. Think about it this way. Our business as a agency is to get agents to make as much money as possible so we can make as much money as possible, right? Ethically. A lead vendor's job is to sell as many leads as possible as quick as you can. So what they're doing is it's free, 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 get this free this, get this free that, let me get you this free money. And then we have agents that are like, whoa, hey, what are you talking about? I am not depositing $30,000 into your checking account by the end of this month. I had one of those leads where a woman said that. She said that, oh, well, your ad told me that I was going to get $30,000 a month because I have diabetes. Diabetes, right? And I asked her, I was like, ma'am, how in the world would that be physically possible that there's a government agency out there giving you $30,000 a month because you have diabetes? And how is that not going to bankrupt the United States over the course of approximately 2 months? Right? But that's what they're doing. They're just trying to sell the lead and obtain the lead as cheap as humanly possible, even if it's completely unethical and going to get you in a whole lot of trouble, maybe even get you a complaint that can cost you your license. So definitely don't want to go down that path, because it may be a path of volume, but it's the wrong kind of volume. I definitely don't want to work with those types of people.
Exactly. I mean, who does, So, and that's why, one of the things we do is we add a couple of questions to make sure that these clients, these people that are filling out our lead form and setting appointments, they know exactly what it is. One of the questions we ask is, who's the beneficiary going to be for the insurance? And the second one is, what's your monthly budget?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably giving away too much information now that
Yeah, we probably shouldn't get into too much of that, but yeah, we do ask the clients what their budget is, because we want them to understand that it's for life insurance. We
bingo.
ask them what their monthly premium is, but yeah, we shouldn't give too much information about
Yeah.
that one. I
What their
don't really
monthly
want to give
budget
too much away.
is the way it's worded. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So for agents who are, those of you guys who are generating your own Facebook leads, on a Facebook form, for example, that's because that's what we see most agents trying to do their own. Brandon, what can these guys do to get the answer rate up? To get more people to actually answer the phone?
So you have to make sure that your ad copy, ad photos, and funnel are all speaking the same language, and they're taking them down the process of the sale. It's not just gathering information, it's the beginning of the sales process. If you start to look at it as the beginning of the sales process, and you start to use the same principles and tools that you use to sell policies in your funnels, in your ad copy, it's going to be a lot easier to get to that end step, because the sales process started before you talk to them, versus just a form that says, what's your name? What's your phone number? So and so will reach out to you for your benefits.
Bingo. And that's why our proprietary sales script presentation actually takes you there. Like it goes from, we know exactly what they filled out and what they saw. And so when the agents answer the phone, our script goes right into part 2 of that, which is why we do so well with this system. All right. So last question. Let's say there is an agent who's watching this video and they're smart. They've already maybe developed their own, Facebook ads using the Facebook forms, but they actually want to create, a funnel system kind of like what we use. Where would you suggest that they start, and what advice would you give them? And again, this is agents that don't want to work with us for whatever reason, that just want to do it on their own.
Well, God bless you. So it is very tough. You have to remember, if you're an agent that's trying to set up your own funnel system, manage it, and improve it, you have 2 jobs now. You have to be prepared for 2 jobs. We've had a lot of agents that have mentioned this, asked this over time, and it is tough. It was tough for me whenever I was doing it myself and selling. And I made the transition to just running this for the agency when we partnered up, because it's too much to do both at the same time. Now, can it be done? Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of long nights. There's going to be a lot of research. You have to constantly be learning. So you have to constantly be going through others' ad sources and funnels, and constantly picking it apart, seeing what makes sense, constant trial and error. You're going to have to be okay with sacrificing money up front to see if something works, which is a very, very demanding mental piece of the equation. So you have to be okay with spending a few $1,000s and not yielding the results you want immediately, because you need to get better and you need to work on improving this. You also need to make sure that you are balancing the management with the sales piece, because like I said, it's 2 full-time jobs. So if you're working 2 full-time jobs, you got to find a way to find that perfect balance. And if I'm being completely honest, you probably don't want to do it.
Look, and
You're probably going to want to find somebody that you can trust, that's reputable, that can help you with it. That's why we even exist to begin with at this level, because you've got somebody that's in your corner. We spend over $1 million a year on ads. We're constantly doing research. We're constantly doing improvements. And a lot of our agents, almost every single one of our agents with rare exception, just ask us to do it because they can make more money and they don't have to work 2 full-time jobs. I mean,
bingo.
I was working until like 1, 2 o'clock at night, 6 nights a week to make it work.
Bingo.
And I was doing both.
Who else can offer you 10 to 15 or more appointments on average per day, plus another like 20 to 30 exclusive leads every day? And that's what we're finding that our system's able to do for agents that, that are producers that don't mind spending a little money on it. And one other thing, guys. So I've built my own websites. I've got the YouTube channel. I've been editing and filming and doing all this. I'm good with technology. I consider myself fairly good, at least above average. I generated my own Facebook leads for years through regular Facebook forms, but doing the funnels, doing this, no, that is something, there's no way I'm doing that. We would not be having this conversation if it weren't for Brandon being here. So Brandon, I want to thank you for coming on board and doing this and sharing this information. I really, really, really appreciate it. Guys, if you'd like a copy of the new schedule of Social Security benefit calendar, and what this calendar does is it's going to show you exactly what day your final expense client is going to receive their Social Security, disability, or VA benefits every single month. Just shoot me an email at doug@ufesonline.com. For those of you who want more information on our final expense teleplatform, where you can get all those preset appointments and all those exclusive leads every day, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there or get on that headset, but whatever you do, make sure that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.